David Clearman, who's the Director of PLS Sales at Muratec and also Director of Marketing. And I thought this would be a great time for Davis to tell us more about the independent agent program that I knew a little bit about, but wanted to make sure that David could give us a little bit more insight on it. So David, you're on.
All right. Well, thanks, Art, for having me, and we'll make this as brief and painless as possible. But so what we do, just to kind of let everybody know the overview of what our group does is Muratec and Continental have a label division. We've got a couple label divisions, in fact. The Curio label is a little bit higher end into the industrial print, and then our production print group is the precision label, or PLS. And what my team does is we support the Muratec and the Continental group for the entire country for the wholesale group. So dealers is what we focus on. And a couple of years ago, when we started getting into talking to some of the dealers weren't necessarily interested in going down a new route or going down a new I'm muted. No, I'm unmuted.
Yeah, but for some reason, for some reason, something happened. Sorry.
Quite all right. Quite all right. As long as I saw as long as I don't sit here and talk for 10 minutes, you guys can't hear me. That's the bad part. But anyway, so we had these opportunities in some of these markets where we had either a Muratec or a Continental dealer that weren't really interested in labels. And what that made us look at is an independent rep program. So we could go find a rep that was either in a copier business, or they could be in the IT business, or they could just be totally independent doing their own thing. And believe it or not, this comes up a lot more than you'd think. But what we did is we put together a real basic program. It's a 1099 program that lets an independent rep, not necessarily connected to a dealer, but not necessarily not connected to a dealership, it allows them to go out and look for opportunities in the label business. It allows them to look for opportunities that some of the dealers might not get into, probably wouldn't get into, especially if it's in a market where the dealers are not really interested. It also lets them go and maybe use some of their previous experience in the label business or marketing business or packaging business, and it lets them go talk to printers. And printers sometimes are a little bit intimidating to the dealers, but if you're an independent rep, you'll go talk to anybody, is what we've learned, and that can be good and bad. But the good news was, again, we kept it simple, made it 1099. We published a price list to them, and anything they sold at that price, they got a commission for. Anything they sold above the price, they got a commission plus a bonus, that they're able to make. And again, we wanted to keep it very simple so that if we had an area or we had somebody that was interested, they could go out and do this. Now, what we also what we're letting them utilize is basically it's a license to go make cold calls and to start conversations. And after they have a conversation or they find a prospect, they would come back to my team and they would say, hey, I've got this prospect in, wherever, Atlanta, Georgia. Who do I need to bring in and to help me ask some questions or answer some questions, or to have a live demo or have, a virtual demo or a Zoom call. And so we just kind of worked it, and it ended up being very similar to the dealers, except with the dealers are very focused on the service. They're very focused on supplies and service revenues and things like that. Well, an independent rep, just they don't ask those questions. They say, hey, how's it going to get done? And then we say, well, we're gonna handle it from there. So you sell the product, we give you a commission check, and then we turn it over to our servicing department to let them do the service and the follow-ups and troubleshooting and all that good stuff. So again, the whole thing was to keep it simple, kind of like a point, shoot, aim kind of thing, kind of backwards, but it got us in a few doors that we might not have gotten into. And it's still currently available. We get asked about it every once in a while, and we're okay. Now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to step on a dealer's toes. So if we have an area where we do have a dealer that is engaged and they're actively selling the product, we probably wouldn't want to sign up an independent rep in that territory, but we will treat them like a dealer in that we'll give them certain territories and certain areas that they can go hunt into, if that makes sense. And that's really the program in a nutshell.
Right.
We do have I'm sorry, I'll just add this. We do have an authorized contract or a basic contract for the independent rep. And along with that contract, there is the price list. And that's and there is an NDA that they'll sign. So we kind of, again, we try to keep it simple, but we try to keep it as fair and as legal as possible. And our buddy Bob Goldberg has given his blessing to this, so we're good.
Right. Is there any training available? Like if somebody wanted to come down to Texas and get trained a little bit more?
Absolutely. So what we would do is we would just set a time, and these are things where it's kind of on the independent rep's own dime, if possible, to get them into Dallas, get them in our facility there in Dallas. We could even get them into the facility in New Jersey, where we have equipment all set up and have operators and things like that. So and Art, you've been in the facility in New Jersey. So
right.
We have two different ways to get it done. But unlike the dealer, the independent rep, it's on their dime. We'll pay for the training, but they have to pay for their transportation, hotel, things like that. But the answer is yes.
Got it. And I guess the question is, we'll just go back on products right now. How many different presses do you have available right now?
Right now in this category, we're opening up the single, the 475, the PLS 475. It's kind of our go-to mid-range. It's not, I don't want to make the mistake and say it's entry level, but it's a mid-range press, what we call narrow width. And it touches a lot of bases. It touches, you could have somebody doing, 5,000 labels a month up to 5,000 labels a day, with a maximum, maximum volume of a couple of million a year. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to get into the too entry level, because then we start competing with the internet. And Tanya, your question, I saw that bounce up. The price point it does make it a little more appealing to a higher end user. Whereas if you just had a mom and pop shop, let's say, I'm trying to think of a real entry level type application, but if you had somebody who was just doing, a couple thousand labels a month, this would probably be priced out because we're looking at higher volumes. We're looking at, got guys printing 175,000 a week. But again, as little as 5,000 a week would probably be a, kind of entry level or kind of the cutoff.
Right. And what's the MSRP on it for that 471?
475. The MSRP is right around $48,000. $48,000 is MSRP. And then you could also add a finisher. So the label's not really a label until it's finished. So, we print labels, and I wish I had a roll here. Actually, I do. We print labels on a roll, and then we take that roll and we put it on the finisher, and the finisher cuts the labels out, laminates it, and it slits it and finishes it and rolls it back up on another roll. And now it's ready to go onto an applicator. And that's when the label is officially a label. And the finishers cost anywhere from, MSRP is anywhere from 35,000 to about 70,000. And we like to sell them as tandems, obviously because, well, there's two things. Obviously because it increases the price of the system, but it's also, it's a from beginning to end finished product, and gives them a lot more flexibility to do different types of labels, custom labels. And these are what we call premium paper labels or premium synthetic labels. These are labels that go on products that you see on a shelf. And the reason I say that is because we don't want to get caught up too deep into a sticker situation. If anybody ever says, "Hey, do you sell stickers?" We don't sell stickers.
Right.
Stickers are, stickers are one-off stickers that go on bumpers and go on windows and things like that. We're looking for label applications for the wine industry, for the food industry. And again, we call it paper or premium labels applications, low cost labels.
What's the next model up from the PLS 475?
So at that point, we would kick them into the Curio line. And it's got to be based on volume. So once we go to the 475 and we have that discussion and we talk about their monthly volumes or their quarterly volumes, the types of labels they need to do or they're looking to produce. If the conversation goes upstream, we can quickly make that transition into the Curio product, which is a much larger device. It is a toner-based device based on one of Konica Minolta's very reliable toner-based engines. And so, and the space actually changes. We go from a space that's about the size of a desk on the 475 to a space that's about the size of two Prius parked front to front with the Curio. It's a bigger device, and it goes toward a bigger application.
All right. And how about packaging? You have a packaging printer?
We do. So the PKG 675 is our box press. We call it box press or corrugated press. You can see a couple of boxes behind me. I'm not sure if they should be. You got the strawberries, the orange, and if you can see that cheetah, that was all printed on the box press. This is probably getting the most interest right now. This is a zebra printed on a piece of cardboard. And so it's the same kind of application that the label is. It's a short run custom label or custom box or custom packaging piece. They can use it to print on corrugated boxes. They can print on synthetic signs. They can print on die cut boxes. This is one that's not folded up. It's a manual duplex, but this is getting a lot of interest right now because it is picture quality. If you could see this, if you've seen any of these at our shows, we have the big 675. Now it's also a pretty big device. The list price on this is right at $125,000, and it doesn't need a finisher. So all installed is about $130,000, and they have a really good application. But it's not. When we say boxes, a lot of people go, well, I need to print 1,000 boxes a day. That's not this application. If you had a custom box or a custom box shop, and there are those custom box shops out there that want to do customized, personalized boxes for food, for beverage, commemorative boxes and things like that, where they want to do 5 to 25 to maybe 250 boxes at a time with the company's name, company's logo, a picture of something on it. That's our application for those. But in both of these cases, the press, the 475 and the 675 print at 30 or 60 feet per minute. So they're pretty quick. The corrugated press will print up to 42 inches wide. And again, it's a full color print. When you put it on a corrugated box, it looks pretty amazing when you get a picture that's, on a piece of cardboard. So yes, both of those are available to our independent reps.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, okay, I opened up everybody's mic. So if you have any questions, we're gonna dedicate the last 15 minutes to questions. And Andrew, if you can hear me, I asked to unmute your mic, but you haven't unmuted. So who's got a question for David?
Hey, David, it's Tanya. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's the closest we're getting for a while, I guess.
Yes.
Financing, I have to ask, can an independent rep sell financing?
He's not frozen on my screen, but I can't hear you.
Well, that means it's on his end.
So what we can absolutely, we can get financing involved. All we have to do is make sure that when that question does come up, and we want it to come up, because if an independent rep, just like a dealer rep, if somebody asks an independent rep, hey, how much does it cost? Are you going to tell them 60,000 or are you going to tell them 1,800 a month?
Right.
In a print shop, as much as any place, I would rather them respond that way. So the more information I have from you, Tanya, to give that, or to even list that in our program, the better off we would be. So yes, they can offer. Now we don't, Konica Minolta has its own finance. We're not offering that for the PLS and the PKG. So yeah, any others that we can put out there, I would be more than happy to do that.
David, I'll reach out to you outside of this and we'll figure if there's something we can do to help.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Hey, Daryl, any questions?
Thank you. Hi, David. I don't know if you remember me through the years or not, but
I do.
I saw this the other day, and in 17 we pursued a little bit some other folks. So I'd like to have really a conversation offline, probably,
Sure.
to explore some of that. Maybe I should have done that in advance, but I have some ideas and maybe this or that. But I've always been intrigued with labels. My son-in-law is very involved in the liquor industry and a lot of other people as well. So I've got all the stuff. I actually got a bottle of wine here with Fit Chased on it.
Nice.
Remember those samples?
I do.
So anyway, but if there's a time maybe to catch up and just ask some questions.
Yeah, Daryl, why don't you tell them that story you told me the other day about the one liquor maker that does they can do the custom labels they offer their clients custom labels from time to time?
Well, I mean, the local craft places in town here, I live in Lee Summit, so there is a multitude of craft places and the wine people in Missouri. And I mean, there's all kinds of specialty labels they can do. But I was telling my son, I had a conversation with him just yesterday, actually, at a distillery. But we were talking, and I told him back, just coming up with ideas for labels is the point of sale, where I want to buy Tanya a bottle of 360 vodka, and I wanted to say, hey, Tanya, thanks for everything, great year, whatever, happy holidays, and write my name on it. That at the point of sale, labels at the point of sale would set a particular brand at this point apart from someone else, because you always want to do that. I'm a Maker's Mark ambassador today, and I can order a label to put on the Maker's Mark bottle within 2 days here, and say, hey, David, or put Mark, whatever I want on the label. But I don't know, it's fun to be creative and watch these people. And I was just at I do a lot of stuff with the Chamber of Commerce in Lee Summit, getting new members and so on, and I've gotten, I think, almost every distillery in town here, or beer place in town on the Chamber. But they were putting some labels on some cans for some people last week, and anyway, that's really not what you asked me, Art, probably, but I've been an old copier guy for 40 years, and the creativity back in the day is there's a lot of things you can do.
I find this is a wonderful opportunity to get involved with more clients, to offer them some additional products. And I know, especially even though I work for a dealership, my day job is still selling copiers. My dealership doesn't want to do it. And this allows me to, how can I say, keep hunting. And, you know, sooner or later, I'm going to find some opportunities, and I expect them to be pretty big opportunities. And who doesn't love big opportunities? We all love them.
No doubt. No doubt.
Andrew Haley, do you have any questions?
I did want to know. Sorry,
Hold on. We're in the same room.
you mute yours. So I did want to know a question. I wanted to know who would service the equipment if I ended up selling it.
It's going to be a combination of Konica Minolta / Muratec. We're in the process right now of moving all of our service and support over to Konica Minolta. We're probably about 90% there. So yeah, it would be a Konica Minolta. Now, if we could recruit a local dealer to do it, we could train the local dealer. If that's the way it works out, we always offer that to the dealer. We say, hey, we can come in and train you to be a support and escalation, be part of the escalation. Or if they don't want to touch it, or if it's in the case like an independent rep, we would just do it through our parent company, Konica Minolta. So we're looking at a couple opportunities, or a couple different options, if you will.
Okay.
Any other questions, Andrew?
So
I don't have at this point.
we sold one last year, 475 with a 401 finisher. And our account, we had to repossess the equipment. They were making payments. They were supposed to come up with all the money, making payments. COVID hit. We had to repossess it. So we've got one, having a hard time moving it. It's probably not the forum for this conversation, but.
So yeah, we could talk about it afterwards, but is it an issue of demonstrating it, or is it an issue of getting it up and running, or is it an issue of just kind of finding the right application for it?
At this point, I guess it would be an issue of getting it up and running. So
Okay.
It's been sitting, we picked it up end of November. So it's been sitting for a little while.
Okay.
And it needs some sort of work to get it back to factory.
Right. So I tell you what, grab me after this and let's figure out what's happened so far. The one issue on these machines, the MemJet, the 475, the MemJet unit, is if it goes offline, or if it's taken offline, there's a very specific way to shut it down and to make sure that print heads don't get crazy or get ruined. And if that doesn't happen, or if it's not being used, it kind of goes into that, that mode where we do have to come in and kind of refresh and do some troubleshooting on it. But they're very consistent. They're very reliable when they're being run. And even if you're doing a thousand labels a week on them, they stay intact pretty doggone well. But once they get turned off, that's when we start having troubles with them. But it shouldn't be, it shouldn't take too much to get it back up to speed. But there's always those times. So yeah, Andrew, just let me know. Let's catch up after this, and we'll figure out what needs to be done.
Yeah, I'm the one that's ended up selling that, and then COVID hit, and they lost their contracts for a couple breweries that closed up locally, and then they bellied up the whole company. So that was pretty painful.
Yeah, I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
So we're looking for a new place to put it, but in the meantime, it's pretty tough.
Because right now it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, what's your market? Where geographically, where are you?
Yeah, we're like the eastern shore of Maryland and southern Delaware. And then our Wilmington office is northern Delaware into southern Pennsylvania a little bit.
Okay. Just keep my
So
eyes.
I mean, there are prospects for it, but there's not a plethora.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially on the Eastern Shore. I could definitely agree with you there. All right, does anybody else have any other questions? Pretty quiet out there.
It is.
David, I get a hold of you.
David, give me a number from 1 to 10 and don't pick number 1 or number 10.
Okay. You got it. You want me to tell you what number?
Yeah, just tell me the number.
Number 8,
Guess again.
3.
Whoops, guess again.
Yeah. 4.
That's number 4. Andrew Quilling. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah.
I'll be sending you out something shortly. So we'll get together and I'll get your address for you.
All right. Sounds good. I'll message you on LinkedIn.
Sounds good. All right, everyone, I want to thank you very much for your time. We're also going to put this on a print for pay hotel as a recording within the next 48 hours. So if you'd like to go back to it and review, you're welcome to go back to it and review. And then David and I will be back on, we're going to be on the first Monday. Well, actually, the first Monday in July is July 5th, but we've already planned something for July 6th. We're not sure the topic right now, but I'm sure we're going to be able to pick out an awesome topic to keep this label press talk going for everyone. And everyone, again, thanks for your time. David, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Art. Thanks for hosting.
David, this is
Thanks,
Daryl.
David. Thanks, Art.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, you're welcome.
David, how do I get a hold of you?
I just sent my phone number out, but my phone number is 888-518-4552.
4552. What was it? 888, middle ones?
518.
518. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good enough.
All right, David, I'll be talking to you in a couple days.
Good deal.
All right, thanks.
Everybody have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Take care.
All right. See ya.